Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Big topic. Might trigger some people. Don't care. We need to talk about it. We are talking trauma, childhood trauma. Most everybody has experienced some type of childhood trauma, whether it's the loss of a pet, the loss of someone we've loved, divorce, parents divorcing, separating, somebody going into foster care. Maybe somebody moved across town to a new school, across the state to a different country. Your parents were in the military and you traveled a lot, you relocated a lot. There's a lot of traumas, and that's okay. Hopefully, you had parents that were loving and kind and set you down and talked to you and listened to your fears and let you voice them. That's big. Nothing is worse than being a child and being told, oh, you're fine. Get over it. Suck it up. Put your big boy or girl panties on. Quit being a sissy. Quit being a baby. Don't do that to a child. We all have a right to feel whatever we feel. And everybody's different. We're all individuals. Some people, it really does not appear to bother them. They just kind of let it roll off their back and keep going. Other people feel devastated. Other childhood traumas, maybe someone had a physical challenge. Maybe they had a lisp, they stuttered, they wore thick glasses. Myself, I was bullied as a child, and I was anorexic from the time I was a toddler up until until I got pregnant when I was 19, 20 years old. I'm a natural redhead. I have very pale skin. I look like a stick figure with a red mop on top of my head. And, that's a target for any bully. Now, in, late 60s, early 70s, my dad got a big promotion to upper management. And we relocated to a nearby community, moved out of the city to the burbs. And new school district, we moved into what was at the time a very upscale area. People assumed since we lived there, we were snobs. Yeah, no. People saw me as this really skinny kid whose mother wanted me to dress a certain way. I had to dress in skirts and dresses and knee socks, and everybody else was wearing jeans. I didn't get a pair of jeans till I was in the 9th grade. But it was hard. It was really, really hard. I would come home from school every day in tears, and my mom would say, suck it up, get over it. No one wanted to hear my voice. All of that was shoved down for years. That's not good. Do not do that to your child. They have a voice, they have feelings, they have thoughts. Talk to them. If your child comes to you and says, can we talk? I have a problem. I'm worried. I'm scared. I don't care what you're doing. If you're fixing dinner, turn off the stove. If you're doing laundry, it can wait. Your child comes first. Sit down and talk to them. So often, it's generational trauma. Look at your child's life. Look at your life, how you were raised, okay? Everything you went through. Look at your parents, how they were raised, how they raised you. Look at your grandparents, if possible, how they were raised, how they raised your parents. Do you see patterns of generational trauma? Do you see patterns of racism, bigotry, hate, violence, addictions? Think about it. Many times it's a learned behavior. Many times parents will parent the way they were parented, and that can be an absolute nightmare. Once you realize there's a pattern, you can break the pattern. That's up to you. Do not project your past onto your child. Do not allow anyone to project their past onto your child. Many times people that came from a violent background will instill violence in their child. They will teach their child to be a bully, to fight for whatever they want, to take whatever they want. Violence is never an option. We have words. Use your words. Teach your child to use their words. I'm trying to think how long ago, 5-10 years ago, it was pre-COVID, there were 2 gangs in an inner city, and it was a bloody battle. I mean, it was bad. So somebody at a youth center took the leaders and taught them how to play chess. And then instead of gang violence, they had to play it out on a chessboard every week. There was no violence, there were no guns, there was no bloodshed. They used their minds, they used their words. It changed who they became. They got their GEDs. Several of them started college. Who would have thought? Just by somebody taking an interest, breaking that cycle of violence, and teaching children to use their minds and their words and not their fists. It's worth looking into. It's worth thinking about. If you were raised in a cycle of violence, abuse, neglect, abandonment, told to sit down, shut up, go read a book, go to your room, go outside and play, nobody wants to hear what you're thinking, nobody cares, I'm sorry you went through that. I would advise you to seek therapy because all of those emotions have been shoved down. They're still there. Do you realize everything we have ever seen, everything we've ever heard, ever thought, goes on autosave? And with that autosaved file is an emotion that is attached to every memory. Might be a good emotion, might be a bad emotion, but there's an emotion attached to that. And at some point, all of those emotions are going to surface. I would rather have you go through that in therapy because it can be scary, it can be overwhelming. The least little thing can set it off and you're just boo-hooing and you don't know why. Something triggered you. So if you're dealing with childhood trauma, please seek therapy. It's worth it. You're worth it. Your children and grandchildren are worth it. I'm sure you were a good kid. You did your best, and maybe that was never recognized. I recognize it. You're a good soul. You're a beautiful soul, and you are worthy of a happy, healthy life. You're worthy of respect and dignity and love and happiness and joy. We may have to clean out some old trauma wounds to get there, but let's do it. Don't be afraid of therapy. You're worthy.